Welcome to the Good Neighbors of Texas podcast, the place where local businesses and neighbors come together. I'm your host, Ron Holt. Welcome to episode number 2 of the Good Neighbors of Texas podcast. Today, we have the good fortune to be with our neighbor Louis Bosch with Iron Tiger Gym here in Smithville, Texas. Good to be here with you. Pleasure.
Absolutely. Good morning, Ron. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Well, Louis, tell us about your business.
Yeah. Iron Tiger Gym is in my opinion, the number one personal training gym in all of Bastrop County. We strive absolutely to provide the best quality personal training services around. We've been voted number one multiple times for personal training and runner-up multiple times for best gym in Bastrop County.
That's awesome.
Oh, yeah. As far as the gym itself is concerned, I strive very much for this place to be like a family for everyone that steps in the door, whether that be yourself, your parents, your brothers, your sisters, even your children. Everyone is welcome of any size, shape, or background.
What does family mean to you when you say that?
Family to me extends beyond blood. Family to me are the people you choose to have in your life that help push you and drive you into those areas that maybe you're not comfortable with. But your family really sees what your potential is.
Good.
And tries to really pull that out of you. And that's the same exact thing that I, as best I can, try to do for everyone around me that comes here to Iron Tiger.
So that's really what separates you from other places, right?
Oh, absolutely. Oh, yeah. Because a lot of gyms, they're very run-of-the-mill. I will catch people saying that my previous trainer didn't teach me like that. They didn't tell me these things. It's those little bitty key components of training that really make or break an individual success here in a gym atmosphere.
That's tremendous. You know, when I come in here, I've been in here several times already.
Yes.
And I could really feel the family atmosphere vibe in this place, and it really is heartwarming. Well, tell our listeners about your journey, Louis. How did you get into this in the first place?
So lifting weights actually was a very early point in my life. It was a way for me to actually deal with my anxiety and my depression as a teenager. It was not the typical story that you might hear from other people. Was I bullied? Sure. Was I made fun of? Sure. But those are beside the point. Mm-hmm. When I started lifting weights, it was very, very empowering. And that's really what I needed at that point in my life. The absolute side effects, and this is the wonderful part, I got a lot stronger than I ever anticipated. I didn't know I could be as physically strong as I am today. Mm-hmm. Another side effect was I look like my superhero, like all of my superheroes that I looked up to as a kid. Like what teenager doesn't want to look like that?
Yes.
That is basically the entire premise of how I got into weightlifting in general. Now, at some point in my early 20s, for me, it was very important to teach that to other people. Because if I myself can reap the benefit to that degree, why not help other people do the same thing? You
mentioned empowering, because I know it's more than just empowering physically, right? But how did that empower you? In what way?
It's a great question, Ron. How I was empowered, number one, when I talked about people making fun of me, those issues dissolved. They solved themselves. Those boys that would make fun of me prior would see the sheer strength that I could produce.
Yes.
That was almost double the amount they could in a person half of their size. At that point, it's we don't want to mess with that guy. Leave him alone. That is absolutely empowering if you've ever been on that end of the stick. Another thing was people wanting to depend on you. Mm-hmm. Now, that's an odd one. Most people wouldn't say that either. But when you are physically strong, people want to depend on you for accomplishing things. Be that something as simple as doing yard work. Mm-hmm. Hey, I need help moving a dresser. Those little things in life. Being dependable in life absolutely has value to yourself and those around you, because it helps you develop that character that you are looking to derive from your own self. Particularly being a family man myself, I want my wife, I want my children, my parents, whoever else is in my chosen family to be able to count on me and be that dependable person for them. And not just for them, but for the entire community of Smithville. To me, that is absolutely empowering.
Tell us how about some myths or misconceptions you hear about your product or service.
Food. I have to start that with food.
Food.
Yes. I can't tell you the number of times someone came in and said, well, I only eat 1,000 calories a day. How come I'm not weighing any less? Well, we have to start that with simple biology. What's a calorie? Do you know? It's a unit of heat. Not a lot of people know that. So I like to use my steak analogy for this. Do you cook your steak on high or low, Ron?
High.
Of course, because that's the only way to get a sear, right?
Yes.
If you cook a steak on low, what happens? It doesn't cook, does it?
It doesn't cook, from my experience.
Exactly. So take that in correspondence with a human being. If they are not ingesting enough calories, remember that's a unit of heat, they cannot burn the fat off that they're looking to burn off. So this is very counterintuitive, but you actually have to eat enough to put your body into a state of fat loss.
Wow.
And not just fat loss, but make sure that you're eating enough protein to maintain the healthy tissue, your muscle mass. That is the number one misconception that everybody at the very forefront of their fitness journey 100% does. Myself included. I remember back about 10 years ago, I did a bodybuilding show. And I was appalled at that point in my early 20s how much food I needed to eat in order to lose fat.
Wow.
And actually get show ready.
Wow.
It was a 1,500 calorie a day diet of exclusively lean meat, a helping of vegetables, healthy carbohydrates, healthy fats, and anywhere from 1 to 2 gallons of water per day. And again, that's getting show ready.
Yes.
Don't take that out of context, please, people.
Show ready is the emphasis here.
Exactly. But dialing in your food is the number one thing you can do, particularly if you're looking for aesthetic results or looking to drop fat or even looking to build muscle. Even these teenage boys that come in on a pretty regular basis. Hey, Louis, you're big. How can I get big? Eat more food.
Eat more. Wow. That's
Yes.
The other day when I was in the gym, we were talking about exercise and proper eating, and you said something very interesting to me. You said it's 80% kitchen and 20% gym.
Yes, I did.
So can you unpack that for us a little bit?
I can. As far as food intake is concerned, that is where the focal point should absolutely be for every single person in their fitness journey. Now, when I say 80% food, what matters is your meal portions. Now, if you're not getting in enough protein, for example, you're not going to build the muscle mass you're looking for, number one. Number two, if you are not modifying your carb intake or your fat intake, you likely will not look the way you want to look. Now, Ron, you wouldn't want to work out for 3 months, let's say, and put on 5 pounds of fat, would you?
No.
Nobody would. That's not ideal. The best thing to do is learn how to eat for your body, learn what the proper meal portions are, and then, of course, along the way, only instill the habit of working out, not even taking it as far as a really structured, regimented program. What matters at that point is just getting in the 2 to 3 to potentially 4 times per week and really dialing in what you eat, how you eat, when you eat. That is going to make all the difference in the world as far as fitness progress. So you're going to get stronger doing this, and you're going to look the way you want to look at the end of the day.
That's tremendous. Tell us what you do for fun. What do you do on the weekends or to break away from the normal routine of things?
My favoriteest thing to do, honestly, I am a very avid gamer. I love my video games. It's something I've done since I was a kid. A lot of people hear that and think, well, I like to spend time outside. It's not that I don't necessarily, but I'm an only child. My parents loved antiquing when I was a kid. So my own way of entertainment was either reading a book or playing a video game. A lot of things that people don't realize with video games themselves is they teach you how to be a better problem solver.
Interesting.
I mean, I love puzzles, don't you?
I do love puzzles, yes.
Video games have tons of puzzles. They also absolutely help you with decision making. A lot of those things don't give you a whole lot of time to make decisions.
Yeah.
You don't know if you're supposed to go high, low. You don't know if you're supposed to go underneath something, whatnot. Have you ever beaten Mario, for example? That game is hard. Which brings me to the last thing of video games, perseverance. If your aim is to beat a video game, for example, what does that game do to you along the course of that journey?
Yeah.
It smacks you down, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
And what do you have to do? You have to get back up and try it again. What a great lesson for life.
Yeah.
Whenever it smacks you down, get back up, try it again. There's no harm in trying it again. Be successful. Don't get in your own way. That's the lesson I take away from video games.
Well, that's good. I'm glad you're taking something in a video format and bringing application to your life. And I look at you. Typically, when you think of a person playing video games, they're not necessarily the most fit person looking at them, right? But to have that balance where you're exercising, eating right, and then you're using your mind to learn some new quick skills and thinking through problems, right?
Oh, absolutely. And that is my absolute favoriteest part of playing video games. It really is. It's a fun way for your brain to be active and make progress in and of itself.
That's awesome. Describe the hardship maybe that you've experienced or somebody that's gone through a hardship in life, a challenge, and the way they met that, rose above it, and it made them a better person, and even as a result, you were inspired by that and made you a better person. Can you tell us a story?
Oh, absolutely. Not that it's a particularly happy story, but I want to talk about my Theo Robert. It's my dad's brother. He was like my second father. He's a career Air Force guy. At one point, he went into Desert Storm in the 90s. He was the best Air Force recruiter at one point during his career as well.
Really?
Absolutely. This is the man that taught me really the value of strength in multiple ways. He was a very physical person as well. He would always wrestle with me. He had 2 daughters, so he didn't have a son to do those things with. It always fell to me. Now, at some point, he got sick in his mid to late 40s with Lou Gehrig's disease. Now, if you don't know what that is, it is a very debilitating disease. Essentially, your nervous system begins to malfunction and attack the rest of your body.
Wow.
So you atrophy heavily. That means this man that I have up here in my life can no longer get around on his own. He was wheelchair bound through the last few months of his life, which meant for him, he needed assistance and a lot of it.
Wow.
So whenever I could, in between work, whatnot, I would always go down to San Antonio to go help take care of him. Because my cousins were unable to pick him up and carry him. He needed assistance bathing.
So here comes people can depend on you. Going back to what you're saying,
Correct.
Is if you had not exercised and worked out, it would have limited you in your ability to even help him.
Oh, absolutely.
Do some daily essentials, right?
Exactly. At that point, he had to have hospice care. And that's expensive when you have to have 24-hour care. At that point in our lives, we could not afford that. So that fell to me and my cousins to do for him.
Wow.
That meant me literally picking him up and taking him to bathe, picking up, taking him to the bathroom, picking him up and taking him to his next meal. One really happy memory I had of him, he would love to go run with me. It's hard to run when you're in a wheelchair, right?
Yes.
He had a very fancy wheelchair that went 20, 25 miles an hour, and he would blow past me when I was running almost 100% of the time, to the point where I had to be like, Theo Robert, there's cars coming, stop. He would love to go do that with me, and at that point, he couldn't talk, but he could laugh. And I'll never forget that smile, that laugh that he had.
Wonderful.
It makes my heart weep that I don't have him anymore.
Yeah.
But I love looking back at those memories because that was such a turning point of my life. Me understanding my own self, wanting to help people,
Yes.
wanting to be physically strong, wanting to
Yes.
be that dependable person. Without him and that sickness, I would have never learned those valuable life lessons that are absolutely pertinent to me.
That's amazing. I love that. Tell us one thing you wish our listeners knew about your business. Is there anything else you'd like to say about your business that stands out, that is important to you, that they know?
Iron Tiger Gym is Smithville's home gym. This is the place where the community of Smithville can come congregate and not be alone in their journeys. What I mean by that, A lot of people want to isolate themselves when they're working on their own fitness, working on bettering their own individual self as a person. That is a journey best done parallel with others on the same exact journey. You can find inspiration from those other people. You can find camaraderie in those other people. You can also find people who are going to walk through fire with you. And that's really important. The first step of growth is discomfort, isn't it?
Yes.
And dealing with that discomfort usually does not make you a happy camper.
No, it doesn't.
To do that with an individual who is like-minded, which Iron Tiger Gym, of course, absolutely provides, is the number one thing that you can have in your back pocket as a tool in order to help keep you going and spur you on when you don't feel like you want to or like you can.
That goes back to family, right?
Absolutely.
Because you're in a family environment that's encouraging. They're not judging you, or they're just picking you up. They've been through it, or even going through it just like you.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Because to me, this is not just some season of your life.
Yeah.
This is a lifelong thing to cultivate, not just to maintain. Because at some point, we all get older.
Mm-hmm.
If you do not have your fitness where you need it, will you still be able to enjoy the same things in your life that you did when you were younger? Or play with grandkids? Or be able to go hike that mountain with your wife? Those are all things that, to me, are very, very important, that I feel like other people also find extremely important.
I've been around people. I know many of us would have somebody in our lives where, you go to some family gathering or some event, right? And grandma and grandpa, they may be in their 60s, but it's more like they're walking and moving around like they're in their 80s, right?
Yes.
And you see the grandkids, they understand, but it can create a bit of disappointment. They may not say it, right?
Yeah.
But they can't keep up. There's this length of stairs to go up into this convention center or something, and they're out of breath. What I'm hearing what you're saying is you can have these treasured moments even in your senior years if you build that culture of health and wellness in your body and life.
Absolutely.
It's just going to create so many more wonderful, memorable experiences with those you love, those around you.
Oh, absolutely, 1,000%. And that's why I do what I do.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing my Theo Robert in that state, in his case, it was unavoidable. For other people, wellness is a choice. So you can pick to have to go to the hospital and go visit your doctor, be on a dozen different prescriptions and eat poorly, or, which is painful in and of itself, right?
Yeah.
Or you can choose the pain of discipline. You can eat right. You can work out. You can suffer the pain of those things.
Yeah.
And then enjoy your life because you, at the forefront, put your suffering there.
Good. That's good.
It's all about understanding what you want out of your life and then making that choice for your own self.
That's really good. So tell me, how can listeners learn more and contact you or reach out to you?
I personally would love for people to stop by 100 Main Street in Smithville. We are here Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. If you can't catch us in that window, please give us a call at 737-677-9085 and go ahead and schedule your first personal training consult. It's absolutely free.
Well, Louis, it's been a pleasure meeting with you and capturing the heart behind your business and the way you approach it in a family way. And thank you for rising above those personal challenges, and you're making so many other people better. And so thank you, Louis.
Absolutely. Thank you, Ron, for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you for listening to the Good Neighbors of Texas podcast. To nominate your favorite local business to be featured on the show, go to goodneighborsoftexas.com. That is goodneighborsoftexas.com. We look forward to connecting good people with great businesses.